During these difficult times, we understand how important it is to stay healthy and safe. With so many of us confined to our homes and not being able to work, we feel the financial burden more than ever. Many folks lost their jobs and businesses. Others were furloughed, and some are working from home at reduced pay. Keeping up with your bills is not easy under these circumstances. If you have credit card debt and cannot keep up with your monthly payments, we at Debt Fix Pros are here to help. Give us a call to see how we can reduce your interest rates and lower your monthly payments. Protect your credit and let us help you find a solution that fits your needs. We, your friends at Debt Fix Pros, are here to help. Let us take care of your credit card debt so you can focus on what is really important. Call for a free phone consultation at 800-919-6011. 800-919-6011. That's 800-919-6011. 800-919-6011. United we stand.
The Turnpike Sports Book Report.
The Turnpike Sports Book Report is brought to you by BorgataSports.com. Your favorite casino is now your favorite sports book. Available anywhere in New Jersey, BorgataSports.com. Sign up at BorgataSports.com using our promo code PIKE, that's P-I-K-E. Make your first wager of $20 or more and you'll get $100 in free bets. That's $100 in free bets when your first wager on Borgata Sports is $20 or more. Get into the action with BorgataSports.com. Must be 21 years or older and in New Jersey to place a bet. Terms and conditions apply. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
And welcome to this week's Turnpike Sports Book Report, where we're going to be talking about the state and national reports. And boy, do we got a lot of those to talk about. We've got brand new states to talk about. We've got some records to talk about. We're constantly talking about records.
Lots of great numbers.
We've got legislation. We've got deals to talk about. One interesting deal that is first time this sport has been involved in a sports betting deal. I'm just teasing that for a little bit.
I don't want to give too much away, but does it involve Bally's?
Yes, it does.
Okay, I know what you're talking about now.
And also, we have a whole bunch of launches. It was a really busy week this past week here. We're taping even this a little earlier than we normally do because there was so much to talk about. But in terms of state and national numbers, we had a whole bunch of records set. Let's start with, as always, New Jersey. New Jersey became the very first state to generate $100 million in sports betting revenue for the month.
Wow, that's great. We're not talking about handle. We're talking about once all
revenue.
The bills are paid and everything, what's left over. It's $100 million.
$114.788 million to be exact. That's the total revenue. That's online and also retail together. It's just been incredible. Last couple of months for New Jersey, they've had 3 straight months of $1 billion plus in sports betting handle.
Yeah, I'm very curious to see how New Jersey does once New York jumps into the mobile sports betting arena. But these numbers are great for Jersey.
Well, again, New York...
Constantly great.
New York may or may not be a threat depending upon that tax rate. A lot of the, there are places out there saying that the operators are going to bring bettors to New Jersey or even direct promos for the New Jersey side.
We're going to have more on that issue soon. Yes. We have a great interview coming up with Mark Saxon, who writes for NYOnlineGambling.com and Better Collective, and he wrote a great article about it, and we're going to talk to him very, very soon.
That'll air a couple of weeks on Turnpike Sports here. Yep. So, but right now, New Jersey, year to date, now I just said New Jersey had 3 straight months of $1 billion plus.
Handle.
Yeah. The year-to-date handle for the state is $9.7 billion.
Jersey's going to hit 10,
That's the 11
right?
months. Yeah.
Jersey's going to hit 10.
Unless
10
something drastic happens in terms of sports betting industry in terms of New Jersey, $300 million is that's not a lot for them to do. I mean, they've been doing $1 billion plus for the last 3 months, September, October,
in a couple of weeks, that'll be the big story. New Jersey hit $10 billion.
Well, it's already the big story.
It is, but it has to hit officially. You can't really celebrate until it hits officially.
No, so. It's pretty much a done deal the way New Jersey's trending. If you just follow the trends, And interesting note for the total revenue, the Meadowlands license generated more than half of that state revenue.
Wow.
$64.4 million of the $114 million was generated by the Meadowlands, the retail book there, plus the licenses they have.
Mm-hmm.
So kind of interesting to see which operator is performing extremely well versus some of the other ones. Again, online is king in New Jersey. So
especially in the coming months because it's winter. Who wants to go out,
Well,
on a Tuesday night, you're going to run out to the sports book to place a bet? No, you're going to sit in your couch right in front of your fireplace and place your bet on your phone.
Well, here, a good indication is a brand new state that just came on in Connecticut.
Okay.
Now, Connecticut just had their second full month of sports betting, just as a comparison to New Jersey. They didn't set any records. I mean, everything they do is a state record now.
Yeah.
Everything
is so new. Everything's a record.
They blew by their handle. They had a handle of $131 million in November. That's 140% more than what they had the previous month, which was they only had a half a month there. But in terms of the actual online versus retail, Connecticut was about 97% online.
Sure, absolutely.
And that's kind of where a lot of states are trending. I mean, if it's not an online-only jurisdiction, they're going to have a high online handle. And I think New Jersey, everyone calls it the New Jersey model now. I think that's kind of where everybody wants their state to be heading, except for places like Nevada, Mississippi, which seem to be very slow in getting, some of the online registration setups, removed.
I gotta tell you, in terms of Connecticut, they're marketing the hell out of it in New England through billboards. Boy, you drive through Connecticut, you drive through near New York, near the border, even in Massachusetts, there's a lot of billboards talking about sports betting.
I saw one the other day on the expressway in Massachusetts, and I think that was FanDuel.
Yeah, what is that? Is that FanDuel is Mohegan Sun and DraftKings is Foxwoods?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
But staying with New Jersey, or going back to New Jersey for a little bit, everyone talks about the online casino industry there being the key to the casino industry overall in the state. Sports betting's catching up, and New Jersey's online casinos year to date, $1.2 billion in revenue, compared to now $757 million in revenue from online and retail sports betting. They're starting to even up here.
Sure.
And it's going to be interesting to see what happens in December if we see another $100 million revenue month for sports betting in December.
Well, that's the one thing that's kind of like the X factor for me when we're talking about New Jersey and how New York is going to affect the sports betting numbers. One thing New Jersey has that New York doesn't, and it doesn't look like they're going to have anytime soon, is online casinos and online poker. If you're in New York City and you want to play online casinos or online poker, you got to come over to New Jersey. And while you're in New Jersey, you might as well place all your sports bets here. So it's one of those things where, that may help. What do they call the George Washington Bridge? The George Washington Bridge Casino?
Yep. It's basically everybody goes onto that bridge. I think even Tappan Zee, or what is it now, the Mario Cuomo Bridge or whatever you want to call it, the one that, Tappan Zee Bridge. I'm going to call it Tappan Zee. That's also a place where you can actually go and just start looking at getting close to New Jersey, placing bets. I mean, you still got a little ways to go to get into New Jersey.
Yeah.
But that is, that's a gateway to another online betting area because you just go right to the New Jersey line. So we'll see exactly where New Jersey ends up with December. It should do the $10 billion for the year.
Yep.
I wonder if it's going to be another $1 billion month.
We'll see.
For handle, anyway.
We'll see.
But it would be nice to see a $100 million revenue month again.
Sure.
I don't know if they're going to do it, but we'll see. A couple other states set their state records. Indiana and Iowa both set state records. D.C. set a jurisdiction record. I can't call it a state. Michigan online sports betting also set records.
Are these all handles?
These are all variety of things.
Just general records
in terms of
in terms of sports betting.
In terms of Indiana and Iowa, they both set total handle records, online handle records, and revenue records for the month of November.
Wow. Okay.
Both states. Let's see. Iowa, I saw an interesting stat, and it was kind of funny to read this. Iowa residents are betting an average of $9.6 million a day in the state.
Woo, wow. Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, I thought it was kind of a,
I never think of it in terms like that. I wonder how that stacks up to the other states in the union.
Well, I think New Jersey blows by that one. I think Pennsylvania blows by that
Nevada
one.
and
Nevada, yeah.
Michigan probably. And
Michigan set an online handle record.
Oh, there you go. All right.
Let's see, online handle record of $473.8 million, and also an adjusted gross revenue record of $34.5 million.
Boy, lots of records.
Michigan also became the 5th state to pass the $500 million mark in terms of monthly total handle.
Okay.
They joined New Jersey, Nevada, Illinois, Pennsylvania.
Okay.
There are only 5 states that have passed $500 million in monthly total handle for the country here. Iowa is on the verge of going to the $2 billion mark in handle for the year.
Already, huh?
Through its first 11 months.
Yeah, boy.
Through the first 11 months in 2021, Iowa sportsbooks have brought in $1.8 billion in handle.
Oh, jeez.
$778 million over the last 3 months.
Iowa's getting to be a little powerhouse there, huh?
Well, again, I think it's...
Boy, did that sound condescending or what?
Yeah, I know. A little bit, but again, it's a matter of...
No, but good for Iowa.
I think it's a matter of college football and pro football, because I think Iowa's college football market is huge. I mean, that's college football there. That's
I think
more so than a lot of
they're going to do
things.
well in March with March Madness, I think,
yeah,
too.
I think so.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
Think so. Louisiana reported their first numbers for November. I mean, they weren't operating, 100%, but they had
it's their first report, right?
$26.7 million in handle for the month of November. Net revenue of about $5.68 million. Only 2 of their 8 sports books were operating for the entire month.
Well, look, it's the first month. I think they're pretty good numbers for the first month. So
I think so, too.
Congratulations to Louisiana.
And as I mentioned, D.C. set a total gross gaming record revenue of $4.4 million. Again, it was split between I'm really, it's very confusing to me why they do it this way. Everyone reports the numbers as the Gambit numbers and the non-Gambit numbers.
Okay.
I guess it's just a matter of, the way they want to say things or phrase them, but splitting between those two, they always do that. And what they have here is for the month of November, the revenue split was $3.359 million for non-Gambit operators. That's the revenue, compared to Gambit's $1.076 million in revenue. So, again, I think they like pointing out the fact that Gambit's underperforming.
Oh, is that?
I don't know why they. I don't know why they want to do that.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but it's kind of an interesting thing. But we have a whole bunch of new marks being set. Again, looking forward to seeing what December brings. But again, we also got to wait for Nevada, Pennsylvania. There's probably a couple others coming in that Arizona still has yet to report their numbers.
December should be great because Christmas Day, there's so much sports on Christmas Day. First off, the NBA, it's such a great weekend for NBA, and it's going to be a great weekend for NFL football. And everyone is really getting into the playoff picture is getting more into focus. So that it should be an amazing weekend.
Oh, I'm looking forward to Christmas Day. I love NBA betting. I love that more than NFL.
You going to do a Christmas parlay or something?
I always do.
You always
the last
do?
couple of years, I've done a Christmas Day parlay.
It's such a tradition.
Yes. I do all the games. I do a parlay made up of all the games, all money line. I'm not doing the spreads. But a couple of launches to talk about. Another busy week of launches here. I'll go through these really quick here. PointsBet went live in Virginia last week. That is their 8th state. They are now operational in Virginia, New Jersey, Iowa, Indiana, Illinois, Colorado, Michigan, and West Virginia. Ballybet went live in Indiana.
Okay.
That they are now the 13th betting app in the state. Let's see. We also have, I'm going through some of these launches that I have written down here. In Washington State, we had the Snoqualmie tribe in Washington. I'm pronouncing that completely wrong, and
how is it spelled?
Snoqualmie.
You know it's a difficult word when you have trouble spelling it and you're looking at it.
Yes, and that's also in conjunction with IGT.
Okay.
Maryland, we had a whole slew of them launching. We had Caesars launching at Horseshoe. We had Ocean Downs launching, and also this week, as we're taping this, this week, Hollywood Perryville will be launching, and that is the first Barstool branded sportsbook for the state.
Okay.
Bet365 got approval to operate in Colorado. Yahoo Sportsbook said they're going to be launching soon in Louisiana. That's Yahoo Sportsbook powered by BetMGM.
Okay.
Basically, it's BetMGM. Arizona, Caesar Sportsbook opened at Harrah's Akchin. This is interesting. 888 in New Jersey has ceased operations. 888 Sport.
Yeah, but it also means what are they partnered with?
They're SI Sportsbook. At some point, they're going to
Sports Illustrated Sportsbook. Yeah. So I'm assuming they're just going to open up Sports Illustrated Sportsbook in New Jersey.
Yeah, I think you're going to see them come back in the state as SI Sportsbook.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, one of the conferences we attended, the East Coast Gaming Congress, SI Sportsbook was their sponsor.
Yeah, yeah.
So
and that was in New Jersey. That was in Atlantic City. So
that's what I'm saying. At some point, we're going to be seeing them come back into New Jersey.
Not the fact that their physical presence of their people were in Atlantic City. I mean, we're not making that huge leap that they didn't announce anything. They're going to New Jersey, but kind of put two and two together.
Yeah, couple of deals to report on, and I teased it at the beginning. We have the very first.
Oh, is this the Bally's one?
Fishing deal.
Fishing. I got to tell you, I saw this, and I have to check the sports books. I don't know if there's usually the online sports books, they have all the sports that you can bet on one of the sides or across the top, and I have to look for fishing.
I have never thought to look for fishing.
No, I haven't seen fishing yet, but I will look for it.
But Bally's announced a deal, and I want to get the league right, with Major League Fishing.
Major League Fishing.
Designating Bally's as Major League Fishing's exclusive sports betting, daily fantasy sports, and free-to-play partner for all their tournaments.
That's got to be a tough sport to bet on. I mean, do you bet on the poundage of if that's even a word, of the fish caught? The quantity of the fish caught? I mean, what are some of the props that you can go with? And is it a point system like NASCAR? How is fishing work? I got to check that out.
I've actually watched Bassmasters. I don't know if that's part of the Major League Fishing.
I don't know if that's
series,
competition fishing.
But it is competition.
It
fishing.
Is? Really? I didn't know.
Bassmasters? It's points.
You get points so it is kind of like NASCAR.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
Kind of all
but
right.
You're also getting free to play games. You're getting fantasy.
I'm going to do the free to play games because I got to learn how to do it. That's the great thing about free to play games.
I'm very curious to see how the fantasy works because
fantasy fishing, huh?
Because according to the release, you're going to be able to pick a team of fishermen.
Okay.
And you compete against other teams.
That's what I was questioning. Are there teams of fishermen? I want to use fishermen. I mean, is it fisher
persons?
Fisher persons? I don't know. Are there teams? Are there individuals doing this? Can you bet on teams and can you bet on individuals? I'm very curious about this.
Well, I'm looking forward to seeing it, and also they're going to be able to the Bally Sports Networks and also the Bally Bet app. They're going to be streaming stuff.
I'll
take a look at it.
I'll even try it. What the hell?
Bet Rivers announced a deal in Chicago with the daughter of Walter Payton, Brittany Payton.
Great. She will be the brand ambassador for Illinois and Arizona.
Okay. Genius Sports. I'm looking forward to this because I've been hearing so much stuff about the Canadian Football League. They just did a data deal with the Canadian Football League.
Yes.
So the CFL has always said they have been very interested in the sports betting area and the markets and all that. So Genius Sports comes in, does a deal for exclusive data rights to CFL games.
Yeah, I'd like to see that. I mean, I don't even know when their season starts.
I don't know. Every time I turn on ESPN or one of the other sports channels, there's a Grey Cup being played.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's a previous Grey Cup but it's another sport I got to pay more attention to because with this deal, It's all of North American sports betting. We're going to start seeing a lot more Canadian football on the sports books in the United States.
Great. There's going to be a lot of football betting coming up because isn't the USFL starting again and things like that?
USFL is starting again, and if I remember the trademark filings correctly, all the teams have trademarks that include betting.
Okay, there you go.
So keep an eye out for that one. I know Fox owns
spring football.
I know Fox owns USFL. So I'm assuming Fox Bet is automatically going to be included in all
involved
that.
In it.
So, there's going to be some deals announced for that. We've got, moving on here, we got BetMGM doing a 3-year extension with the PGA Tour. So congratulations on those parties. They're going to be doing a lot more together in terms of golf betting.
Great.
We just had Betway on. The Richard Hassan and John Collins from Betway on the show on Turnpike Sports. They just did their 4,000th race sponsorship in the UK.
Wow.
In Ireland. 4,000 races they've
They
sponsored.
are huge in Europe.
Oh, they're getting bigger and bigger.
Oh, and they're getting bigger and bigger.
They also announced their 1,000th sponsored race at Newcastle only. So they've done 1,000 races at Newcastle, 4,000 races in the UK and Ireland. That's a huge benchmark.
I know, absolutely.
I mean, we see all these sponsorship deals. I don't think any sportsbook has gotten close to them yet in terms of that number.
Yeah, like I said, they're huge in Europe. And Europe, I think, is light years ahead of the U.S. in sports betting. So Betway certainly knows what they're doing, and they've had a lot of experience. And it's like I said, I saw him one time watching a hockey game, and I haven't stopped hearing about him since. So good for Betway.
No, Betway's grown fast in the United States as well as overall. So shall we end on some legislation?
Sure.
Some exciting legislation.
Oh yeah.
Chicago City Council has approved the lifting of the ban for sportsbooks to be in the city's stadiums.
Great.
With an additional 2% tax. So it's about a 19% tax for a sportsbook in the city of Chicago.
It'll be worth it. Still better than New York.
It opens the fields, no pun intended there, Soldier Field, Wrigley Field, Guaranteed Rate Field, the United Center, and Wintrust Arena. Wintrust Arena is kind of interesting. They're the ones that are owned and operated by the WNBA team. Mm-hmm. It'll be one of the first women-owned sports books in Illinois.
Great.
We had Ohio. We're still waiting for the governor to sign the bill. By the time this airs, he may have already signed it.
Yeah. My God.
What's
taking so long?
It was transmitted to his office. Last reports I've seen as we're taping this. No word on when he's going to sign. He's got about 10 days to sign it, something like that.
Okay.
But according to the lawmakers there, it's going to include in-state college betting.
Okay.
So you're going to have the opposite of Jersey. Jersey bans all in-state collegiate betting.
Well, that failed in a referendum. Apparently the voters didn't want it, so...
Yeah.
So we couldn't bet on the Army-Navy game because it was a collegiate event happening in New Jersey. So it was off our sports books.
Well, just so you know, more money was riding on the Army-Navy game than any other event on a Saturday, featuring a full slate of NBA, NHL, and college basketball games and a UFC card.
Well, it's such a big event.
Well,
although, again, we couldn't bet on it in New Jersey because we have that crazy rule.
Well, again, what are you going to do? I mean, It's really the only bet that really is solid is do the under. I wonder when that's going to change.
What, 16 years in a row
Yep.
They hit the under? And the under this year was about, 34, 33 in some books. And still they hit the under. I'm curious to see what next year's over-under are going to be.
And last but not least, let's talk about a little bit of New York here. We're still waiting on... online or mobile betting to start in New York. And while that's happening and things are in motion for that, we're seeing some new legislation filed that would actually already expand the market.
Yeah, I mean, it hasn't even, really hit full stride yet in New York, and all of a sudden there's legislation to really expand it.
We have Bill A8538 introduced by New York Assemblyman J. Gary Pretlow.
Okay.
To allow OTBs and pro sports venues to have mobile betting kiosks, and also to expand New York's mobile betting options to include fixed odds horse wagering. So right off the bat, we're seeing an expansion of a market that is anticipating the launch of a market.
Yeah. So, I mean, look, I'm sure they're going to do this. I mean, it just seems logical. If you're going to have mobile sport, look, let's be honest about the kiosks in the sport arenas. You have your phone. You can bet. You can bet in the sports arenas, but now you're just putting a kiosk in there. So it really, not having kiosks doesn't prevent people from betting in the sports stadiums.
I'm going to be very curious to see in the New York arenas, will they block other sports books if they don't have a deal with them?
Who knows? I don't know.
There's software out there to block stuff.
Yeah.
But I'm wondering if that's going to be kind of a key thing for some of these arenas. I mean, if you walk into the Garden, they already have a deal, I think, with Caesars and BetMGM. If you walk in there with a none of neither of those, will you be able to use it?
There might be, handshake agreements saying, hey, look, we're not going to do that if you don't do that with ours. So, yeah, I think that's what's going to happen.
Yeah, at some point.
Yeah, I think they're going to be a wink and a nod. And, yeah.
They're all going to be like that, probably. Well, that's it for this week's Turnpike Sports Book Report. Keep those press releases coming in, info@turnpikesportsradio.com. Don't forget, if you're watching us on the television, we have our news ticker going with additional stories that we didn't touch here, and also the print version of the book report will be coming out after this episode airs. That has even more stories that we didn't talk about. So please check it out, turnpikesportsradio.com. Click on the blog button there, and you'll see the print book report up and ready for your review.
And that'll do it for us this week. We'll see you next time on the Turnpike.